Joseph Nguyen, don't believe everything you think. In Don't Believe Everything You Think, Joseph Nguyen unlocks a profound journey into understanding how our thoughts shape our reality and the intricacies of our mental well-being. The book challenges conventional beliefs about heaven and hell, shifting the conversation from physical realms to psychological states. Using Zen parables and insights from philosophers like Sydney Banks, Nguyen delves into how our thoughts, much like a sculptor, carve out our experiences, both the blissful and the distressing. This summary unravels these themes meticulously, providing a deep dive into the difference between having thoughts and the act of thinking. It underscores how evolution has left our brains hardwired for threats that no longer exist, leading to cycles of overthinking and anxiety. As you explore these pages, you'll discover methods for unshackling yourself from the burdens of overthinking, paving the way towards a state of clarity, creativity, and peace of mind.
The power of our thoughts. Consider the age-old inquiry, what defines heaven and hell? For many religious doctrines, these are literal realms of profound bliss or endless torment, often vividly depicted in Christianity and Islam. In Buddhism, however, heaven and hell are interpreted symbolically, as psychological states rather than physical places. The wisdom of Japanese Zen Buddhism offers a poignant example through a parable about a samurai and a Zen master. The story unfolds with a hardened, battle-worn samurai seeking answers from a meditating Zen master. Lackadaisical with philosophical musings, the warrior demands to know the nature of heaven and hell. Without flinching, the master responds by criticizing the warrior's rude demeanor, labeling him unworthy of an answer. Enraged, the samurai draws his sword, ready to strike. But the master remains calm, uttering, "That is hell." Instantaneously, the samurai comprehends. His fury and pride, his entitlements and resentments, these elements fuel his self-made inferno. Realizing this, he puts away his sword, bows, and thanks the master, to which a smile and the words, "And that is heaven," follow. This tale embodies a truth explored by the Scottish philosopher Sydney Banks: realities are crafted through our thoughts, not dictated by external circumstances. Thus, the samurai's hell isn't an environmental factor but a psychological construct, a byproduct of his ego. True peace or heaven comes not from external changes but from internal shifts, as he experiences when releasing his ego-driven impulses. Our perceptions sculpt our experiences. Like John Milton eloquently stated, the mind holds the capacity to transform circumstances, turning hell into heaven and vice versa. The Zen master's insight reflects this understanding, showing the samurai that his perceived torment and subsequent tranquility are self-crafted. In our existence, events unfold independently of our thoughts, free from inherent judgments such as good or bad. Much like Shakespeare's Hamlet noted, it is our thinking that assigns value to these occurrences. Our emotional reactions shed light not on the actual nature of things but on our interpretive frameworks. Yet, certain emotions, like sadness over the loss of a loved one, are natural interpretations of life's happenings and not to be dismissed. However, we often encounter self-inflicted suffering. This is where philosophical guides and psychological analysts like Buddha and Freud become invaluable. They illuminate the unnecessary anguish we invite into our lives and emphasize that relief lies within. If our thoughts shape our reality, altering our mindset can transform our experience. Therefore, by nurturing positive thoughts, we hover on the brink of converting our hellish moments into heavenly ones. Thus, through mindful contemplation and self-awareness, we harness the power to navigate our emotional landscapes, creating our ideal state of being. The Overthinking Trap. Our thinking brain, a product of evolution, once ensured our survival but now, ironically, contributes to our suffering. This sophisticated organ is designed to rationalize, analyze, and safeguard us by constantly scanning for potential threats. In ancient times, this was essential, danger was everywhere, and a vigilant mind meant the difference between life and death. Today, however, we exist in a world where the stakes of daily life have drastically diminished. The need to fend off wild animals or forage potentially lethal foods has been replaced by the convenience of supermarkets and the trivial annoyances of urban living, like noisy neighbors. Yet, our brains haven't evolved at the same rapid pace as our environment. They remain hardwired to detect threats, leaving us stuck in an outdated mode of operation. We live in an age where a broken leg is a temporary setback and not a death sentence, and yet, biological remnants from our past drive us to continue gauging safe spaces, like crime-free neighborhoods or comfortable office environments, as if they were filled with lurking perils. This results in a relentless cycle of automatic overthinking and anxiety. Our primal instincts nudge us to obsess over the minutiae of modern life, from trivial decisions about our wardrobe and diet to worrying about how our actions are perceived by others. These instinctual thought patterns lead us to constantly second-guess ourselves, whether it's in drafting an email or ruminating over a harmless remark from a colleague. Our fear-filled minds have us envisioning worst-case scenarios, mistaking minor ailments for grave health threats, and making mountains out of molehills. Most damaging of all, they compel us to relive painful experiences repeatedly, extending the emotional distress they caused rather than letting it fade away with time. From a Buddhist viewpoint, our plight is rooted in an unhealthy attachment to these thought processes. To escape this cycle of needless suffering, the solution lies not in feeding these thoughts but in liberating ourselves from their control. The radical idea proposed is to step back from thinking itself, to diminish the power we allow these thoughts over our emotional well-being, granting us freedom from self-imposed suffering. Mastering thought versus thinking. Understanding the distinction between thoughts and thinking can profoundly impact your psychological well-being. Thoughts are spontaneous and effortless, arising naturally like breaths of inspiration. They're simple entities that reveal your true desires without resistance or judgment. Thinking, conversely, is an action, a deliberate process draining your energy and resources. It involves dissecting and questioning these natural thoughts, often leading to an emotional whirlpool of anxiety, self-doubt, and negativity. Imagine this: when asked about your ideal annual income, the number likely appeared in your mind with ease and joy. It's a pure thought. But when stretched to a higher figure, thinking kicks in. You might start worrying about the practicality, worth, or feasibility of achieving such a sum, spiraling into feelings of unworthiness and guilt. This transition from raw thought to analytical thinking underscores how psychological distress often stems not from the thoughts themselves but from the process of overanalyzing them. To break free from this cycle, begin by recognizing when you're locked in overthinking. Your emotions serve as a compass. Frequent negative feelings are indications that you're entangled in thought analysis. By identifying and acknowledging this pattern, you can choose to step back from the destructive cycle of thought examination. Embrace your thoughts as they are, creative, genuine reflections of your desires, without the need for judgment or modification. This mindful acceptance can safeguard your mental harmony and prevent negative conditioning from overshadowing your authentic aspirations. Embrace the flow. Achieving mental clarity begins with ceasing the need to control or manipulate our thoughts. While it may seem counterintuitive, the path to liberation from mental suffering involves not stopping thoughts themselves, but relinquishing the habit of overthinking and judgment. With practice, we can achieve a state of mind where thoughts naturally pass through us instead of getting snagged in analysis and self-criticism. Imagine receiving a bowl of cloudy puddle water. You could distill it through effort, or simply let it settle over time, revealing clarity without interference. Our minds function similarly. When left undisturbed, thoughts find their natural order. In many cultures, this passive mindfulness is recognized. Japanese traditions refer to it as mushin, a term capturing the essence of a mind free from distractions like anger, fear, and the intrusion of ego. Originally describing the mental state of a martial artist in combat, mushin extends to every facet of life, encouraging us to respond with confidence and dexterity. The Western equivalent, the flow state, reflects the same concept, an immersive presence where creativity and innovation thrive. Here, the mind is fully engaged, not through forced thought, but by allowing thoughts the freedom to flow. In such states of non-thinking, barriers erected by the ego, like hesitation and doubt, diminish. We perform at our best not through relentless cogitation, but by stepping into our purest potential. By disconnecting from overthought, we unleash a capacity for swift, intuitive action, accessing the deepest reserves of our prowess and ingenuity.
Ultimately, Nguyen's "Don't Believe Everything You Think" serves as a guide to transforming our understanding of thoughts and their impact on our lives. The book illustrates that while thoughts are natural and creative, overthinking constructs barriers to a fulfilling life. Nguyen advocates for a state of non-thinking, where clarity and presence replace hesitation and fear, enabling us to live more truly in the moment. His message is not about stopping thought itself, but disengaging from the compulsive need to analyze and judge our thoughts. By doing so, we achieve mental clarity akin to a Zen-like flow state, where we are at our most innovative and alive. For readers, this insight offers a path to overcoming self-imposed suffering and accessing their highest potential, simply by learning to let thoughts flow instead of constraining them with unnecessary thinking.